Alright, let's do my Star Wars ranking of all the movies. Attack of the Clones is the last one. I'm going to put all the movies, by the way, excluding the Ewok movies, because there's just nothing to them. There's nothing worth talking about to them. And, yeah. I'm going to do the Clone Wars movie, though, because I like Clone Wars and I like talking about it, so I'm just going to put it on here. I do not like Attack of the Clones at all. There was nothing good here. There was no good story, no good dialogue. There's nothing here. There's nothing I want to watch here. I mean, every plot beat doesn't make sense. It's boring, it's uninteresting, and it's awful. It is definitely a movie that I don't ever intend on rewatching, except when I revisit all the Star Wars movies before I see a new one. And that's the only one that I will revisit. Because, well, it's the only one. Well, I'll revisit them all, but I won't revisit it, if I wasn't doing a marathon of Star Wars movies, I wouldn't revisit it. But if I was, like Solo, right, I could just watch that anytime. Attack of the Clones, I can't just turn it on. It's a commitment to watch it. It's like watching a train wreck happen. You want to look away, but you can't. But you also don't want to watch it, and so you're just trying to turn away the whole time. And that's what I do with the Attack of the Clones. Just turn away. I can't. And then we got the Clone Wars movie. Just bad. It's a bad story. I mean, they made these episodes and they combined them into a movie thanks to George Lucas, and it's like, okay, great. I'm glad you make a freaking movie about how Ahsoka and Anakin try to get back Jabba's son Stinky back to his papa. I'm glad you made that a movie. I want to see that. Yeah, it was not good. After that is Return of the Jedi. Just like this is a subjective ranking, so I'm not saying objectively, Return of the Jedi is worse than Revenge of the Sith or Phantom Menace. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is my least favorite movie out of the original trilogy. Honestly, I don't like the Ewoks. I think they're a bad addition. There had to be a better way to write this. This is so cartoony and stupid. I don't like how Han Solo acts throughout the whole movie. He doesn't act in character all that much. He still has some great lines. But I don't like him in this movie. I don't like Leia in this movie. I don't even like anything besides Luke and Vader and Emperor Palpatine. That is the only thing that saves this movie. The rest of it, I cannot watch it really all that much. This is a movie I revisit the least out of the original trilogy, which is funny because this is actually my dad's favorite out of the original trilogy, and he's the one who introduced me to Star Wars. But this is his favorite, and I can't get into it. I'm sorry, I just can't, and I will never be able to get into it. So after this is the Rise of Skywalker. Look, I did that review, and I still kind of feel some of the way I did. I did fix a lot of my problems with the sequel trilogy, but also it's such a messy movie. It's not very well paced. A lot of the performances are even kind of awkward in some scenes. A lot of the plot beats don't really make sense at all. Like Rey being Palpatine's grandfather. I still like that twist because what it did for Rey as a character, but because she had kind of an arc where she's trying not to go to the dark in that movie, which is not something she's had in the previous movies. But I can't call this a good movie ever, and I'm not going to really defend it. Anymore. I've seen this movie 5 times in the theaters. Get the hell away from me, you freaking fly. Oh my gosh. Sorry. It's in my face. It was like, oh. But I just can't defend it all that much. I like it less every time I watch it, I think. And that's really sad. I still enjoy the movie. I think I always will. But just no. After that is Force Awakens. Yeah, that's right. I've actually grown to like The Last Jedi more. We'll talk about that one next because none of these sequel trilogy movies are very high on my ranking of Star Wars. I can't say this is a good film. I mean, because you're just imitating someone else's work. You're not doing anything new except for the Finn arc. But the Finn arc doesn't make sense. Because, I mean, yeah, you did that, and it's a good arc, and I like that. But what happens after that? Oh, that's right, the character gets assassinated. Because he doesn't do anything. There is no more to his story. There was a little bit of that Rise of Skywalker, but it's so barely hinted at. I can't defend it. I can't defend this movie anymore. I think this is still a fun movie that I can rewatch. I've rewatched this movie many times. But there's just nothing here to really go, yeah, I want to watch this over A New Hope. No, you don't. Nobody wants to rewatch this over A New Hope. Because this is not a good movie. It's just not. It's a fine movie, but at the end of the day, when you're just imitating someone else's work, a work that's, oh my gosh! Flies really piss me off. But it's just like, when you're imitating someone's work, you never can really be better than someone else's work. And that's the way I feel about Quentin Tarantino and a lot of his movies too, so... So after this is The Last Jedi. Mostly for the cinematography. I still think the story and a lot of the plot beats are not good. They're just not good, but the way they're recontextualized by Rise of Skywalker makes some of them a bit better. I still think Rose is such an awful character. I don't know why she was in the movie at all. She didn't do anything. I just can't get into this movie as much as I'd like to. I revisit it a lot because there's moments, or I should say I don't revisit the movie a lot. I revisit moments. I revisit the Yoda scene, things like that. It's not a movie that I ever like, yep, I want to sit down and revisit this movie because this is a good movie. No, I don't ever want to do that because it's just not a film that I enjoy doing that with. It's a movie that half pisses me off, half makes me excited and interested. But it's like, I don't want that conflicted experience. I want a full, fun experience with Star Wars. You know, I also want a good movie made good throughout the entire movie, not just half of the movie. And that's the way I feel about this movie. And it's just, I'm done, you know, talking about this movie. So let's get to, after this is, I hate to say it, because this is really going to piss some people off. A New Hope. Again, the subjective ranking. You know, some of you like, you haven't mentioned Phantom Menace yet. You haven't mentioned Phantom Menace yet. You haven't mentioned it yet. When are you going to mention it? When is it going to appear at the bottom? You're going to really be pissed off. A New Hope is a really, really freaking well-made movie. Absolutely a brilliant movie. So well-made. I just don't know why. I just don't enjoy it that much. Maybe it's the pacing. I think the pacing is really quite slow. And that is something I praised in my other review, in my review of A New Hope. But it's not that I was like... But a lot of my reviews are objective. So yeah, the pacing is great. But it's not pacing I get into. Also, I wasn't there in 1977. I don't feel the full impact of this movie nowadays, you know? It's a good movie. I like it. Heck, it's a great movie, and I do like it a lot. But yeah, that's just how I feel about this. Next one is Revenge of the Sith. I feel some similar to this I do on Last Jedi, except I revisit moments. But I actually end up revisiting the movie more than I do The Last Jedi. So that's why it's kind of here. Same thing with The New Hope. I revisit it more than New Hope. I think it's a great movie in some areas. It's so close to being a great movie, honestly. But there's a lot of issues here, of course, that plague the whole prequel trilogy, which I'm sure you already know about. So I'm not really going to go into them here. But I think this is still probably one of my favorite of the prequel trilogies, besides one, and you're really going to be pissed off where I put it. And then the next one is Rogue One. Just for that final ending alone, I gotta put it here. I gotta put it here because, yeah, I mean, I don't like this movie all that much, but that ending, I like K2SO as a character. I like that they included things from the Clone Wars, and I kind of appreciate this movie more. But I still can't call this a good movie. Heck, I even almost forgot about this movie before the list, but I think it's still worth putting here purely because I'm a fan of the Clone Wars, and the ending is fantastic. Yeah. And then I'm gonna put Empire Strikes Back here at number 3 in the ranking. I put Empire Strikes Back. And some of you are all like, "What the hell? Why'd you put that here?" Because, I mean, I like the movie, fantastic movie, the best Star Wars movie ever made. Best one. No matter what you say, it is the best one ever made. There will never be a better one made ever. You want me to say it? You want me to say it? Okay, I'm gonna say it. I think this movie makes Luke a little too whiny. With Yoda, I think they were great scenes and stuff, but like I don't enjoy the opening at Hoth. I think that was just like such an unnecessary sequence in the movie. There were some unnecessary sequences that could have made the movie shorter. I think, like, what does Hoth do for Luke? Oh wow, he gets his face messed up. They probably edited in because Mark Hamill got in a car accident a few years ago after A New Hope had come out, so his face was different. I guess that was to explain that. But I don't like that. I think Luke's a good character in this. I just think he's a little too whiny. That's all. And I think some people are just going to be so pissed off about me putting this at number 3. Number 2 is Solo. I actually didn't like Solo for a while. I thought it was just okay. I'd only seen it twice. But man, there are so many characters and fun things that come back to me when I just think about this movie. And I really like this movie. And I revisit it a lot. I think this is a great movie. In some areas. It's still not that well made of a movie. It's okay, though. But, I mean, some of the editing, and just the music here is just all great. The score, I love this movie a lot. And number 1 is The Phantom Menace. I'm done. Some of you might be so freaking pissed off that I even said that, but the truth is, I know this movie sucks, but I don't care, because this is the one I grew up with. This is the one I have the most nostalgia for. Jar Jar Binks was my favorite. And some of y'all may be looking at me like, okay, this guy's joking. Please shut up. Please shut up right now. Please, please, please. But I'm not joking. I'm being completely serious. Yep, and I just lost all credibility as a Star Wars fan. I should have put Last Jedi as number 1. Would have been a less controversial pick. That's not true though. But I really, really like this movie, and I can't deny it's my favorite. It's not a good movie. Never will call it a good movie. There's so many aspects I like about this movie. Mostly the ending, because that's really the only good part. But there's so much nostalgia. I saw this movie actually at its re-release in 3D. I'm not even kidding. Me and my dad. So at our theater, at our town that we live in, there's an AMC theater now that was actually a dollar theater. And so we'd wait for movies that we were like, I don't know if we want to see that. And it would go to the dollar theater later on, and we'd be like, yeah, let's go watch it for $1. And so I think I almost got to see Beauty and the Beast in 3D. I don't know if I did for sure. There's some other Disney 3D releases, but they started with the Phantom Menace. They were going to do the original trilogy in 3D. And Phantom Menace just bombed in 3D. Which was like, yeah, it bombed in 3D because it wasn't good in 3D, honestly, from what I remember. Also, it's like, why would you start with the Phantom Menace? It wasn't even 20 years old at the time. There wasn't enough nostalgia there to do that. I think if they started with the original trilogy, it would have worked out so much better, but they didn't. But I like this movie, though, so, yeah, call me not a real Star Wars fan, strip me of my man card, exile me to the same place you exiled Jar Jar Binks. It's just how I feel.